So those are the two areas. I would caution not to look at startup very aggressively right now, because the application layer, which is where the Ubers and the Airbnbs, etc., the world came, their applications from a mobile, that we still not figure out yet. Okay, because there is no distribution play to this.
Okay. I can also talk about the NVIDIA revenue, like very starkly different. Like last year, NVIDIA made $60 billion.
Yeah.
Of that, 80% was to sell GPUs, AI GPUs for AI workloads. So $48 billion worth of GPUs were sold last year from NVIDIA. $48 billion have not been made in AI revenue in the last so many years. The king of it all, OpenAI, has made how much?
22.
2 billion.
2. So the super interesting stat to keep in mind is the company that has made the most money from AI right now, apart from NVIDIA and maybe OpenAI, which has made 2 billion, is Accenture. there are a couple of articles out in the last couple. I'm ex-Accenture. I hold Accenture stock. I'm very happy, right? But Accenture has earned $800 million worth of contracts in the first 2 quarters. Can anybody think about why? Why is it that Accenture has earned $800 million of contracts in the first 2 quarters, 1.5 quarters?
Training their staff, I guess.
Staff.
No, the uncertainty that they need.
Yeah, it's nobody knows what to do with AI.
They don't know.
Right? In the traditional companies, nobody knows what to do with AI. They only know 2 things. And to the point on talent, what Manoj was saying, it's early days. The other thing that's really interesting about AI is that traditional companies are going to be hiring big in this area, because if they are not producers, they are still going to be consumers of this. So there is a massive rush. The reason the Accentures of the world are making so much money is because companies don't have talent, they need help. And 800 million is far more than anybody else has made. The only company that we know of that has made more is OpenAI, which has made 2 billion. Right? And Accenture's revenue is repeat revenue. So it's going to keep compounding. Right? So that is the way to think about startups versus large companies here. Even the jury is still very far on this. Sorry, next question.
There are 2 microphones. If you have all the microphones, please ask.
The panelists so far discussed about engineering opportunities. What about non-engineering opportunities? Product management, business development, program management, things like that. Any comments on those?
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I think that definitely product management, project management, all of them, if you have to really excel in the new world, you really need to know data-driven decision making, and you need to know AI-ML concepts. Otherwise, there's a sense that a button will be clicked and something will happen, right? So if you don't have that knowledge on how these models are trained, what is the difference between training and inference, those type of basics, you will not be able to really create a better project execution timeline, hold people accountable, and all of those things. So the most successful technical program managers, product managers that I've seen are people who can get into a notebook right away and do basic data analysis, right? Be able to do segmentation on their data to make sure where should we run this feature or not. So definitely data knowledge is very, very important. In fact, I'm seeing that more and more product managers that are succeeding have a lot of data science background. So they're data scientists with a flair for influencing the product. So for sure, those ones, data-driven minimum, plus machine learning. But the area where I'm seeing most in non-engineering is around annotation, human feedback. That area is where I'm seeing AI, ChatGPT, and other type of large language models directly help. So let me give an example, right? If you work for any company, startup or big company, you have to make sense of the data that you have. So you have to divide and cluster your data into categories, whether it is concepts or real entities, or maybe intent of the people that are coming on the platform. So there's some intent concepts that you need to come up with. So all of that requires some sort of knowledge on, we call it linguistic knowledge or taxonomy knowledge, and that was a much, much longer process. with all these large language models, that is getting really, really accelerated. So you can put out new taxonomies every 3 days, every week. You can automate the entire process. So even if you're not an engineer, you're a taxonomist, you're a linguist, AI can really help you as well.
Hi everyone. So first of all, amazing discussion. Loved it. I had a question regarding the producer-consumer thing that you guys were chatting about earlier. So I believe that there are some companies who are really doing foundation models, and then there's this other set of companies who are kind of doing consuming, but they're doing this with RAG and applying traditional techniques on top of LLMs and trying to get a lot out of